So the New York Giants go out there and they end up they end up hiring Don Wink Martindale, and the Giants also get Mike Kafka and Davis Webb to be a part of their organizational structure. And I believe that the New York Giants, this is a really exciting time to be a New York Giants fan. I think that this is absolutely excellent. You have a guy in Wink Martindale that has had so much success in Baltimore as a defensive coordinator, a guy with great experience, a guy that's going to be really aggressive, calling a lot of blitzes, a guy that doesn't put up with any BS. And it was tough to lose Patrick Graham, but now the Giants are really going in a different direction in a very blitz-heavy scheme here with Don Wink Martindale. I have absolutely no problems with going with a veteran defensive coordinator like Wink Martindale that has been doing it for so long, that plays with an aggressive style of defense. So the Giants are going to be blitzing a lot. They're going to be playing a lot of man-to-man defense, and it's going to make for a very interesting time. And also Wink Martindale is older, so Wink Martindale, you have a chance to preserve Wink Martindale for the foreseeable future. So I am really excited about Wink Martindale. And, is there some concerns? Sure, it's maybe giving up big plays. Wink takes a lot of risks, but in the same breath, I like that even though Wink Martindale is going to take a lot of risk, there are going to be some turnovers, and the Giants are going to play an aggressive brand of football and a winning brand of football, and that's what Baltimore has been. They've been nothing but stability. I mean, the Ravens, have won several years in the playoffs. They had a great chance to win the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when they were the number one seed in the AFC, but then Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans were able to beat them. So, Wink Martindale, he had a lot of injuries on the team this season, and he was getting a little bit older, and Mike Macdonald is just a fantastic, fantastic defensive coordinator. So that's what's going to be here at the New York Giants. In terms of the offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, this is a guy that I'm really, really excited about. This is a guy that I think is going to be a future head coach very, very soon, just like Ben Johnson. The New York Giants also bring in Davis Webb, and Davis Webb is an extension of the coaching staff because he's been in the Dable offense. And Webb is going to be, I think he's going to be a brilliant kind of coach. And I think that Davis Webb and his work ethic and the way that he can work with the offense and the whole team will be really, really good for the Giants. But in terms of this hire, in terms of Mike Kafka, this is a big-time move by the Giants, preserving and getting Mike Kafka from the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a guy who's called offense for Mahomes, a guy who's developed Patrick Mahomes. And, him and Shea Tierney, I think that this is great. You get Baltimore's defensive structure with the offense and the creativity of the Kansas City Chiefs offense, which has been really explosive and obviously has been the best offense pretty much that we've seen in football. I think that it's a tremendous, tremendous hire. I mean, I've been high on Mike Kafka for a while, and I think that this move makes tons of sense. So the Giants are really changing up their structure. They're adding Mike Kafka. They're also getting Wink Martindale. So they're going from a defense that was very zone-heavy to now more man-heavy. And they're going from an offense that had Pat Shurmur, an offense that had Freddie Kitchens and Jason Garrett, and now they're really moving towards a very modernized spread attack with Brian Dable and Patrick Mahomes, two guys that had Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. In terms of what the Giants are going to do for the long-term vision, I like what Joe Shane is building. I like the hires that he's made. I like the guys that he's kept on the staff, like Jerome Henderson. But the Giants, again, I don't believe in Daniel Jones. If I had to rank Daniel Jones amongst the quarterbacks in the NFL, he would probably be maybe the second worst quarterback in the National Football League. Big Ben's going to retire. Tampa Bay's going to do something else with their quarterback, but Daniel Jones has been the architect of the worst offense in NFL modern day history. And I know that he's gotten injured, but if you're such an amazing player, you're still going to have chances to make explosive plays. And it's not like Jason Garrett. You can't blame everything on the play call. There at least is one guy going deep on a route, and there's no explosive offense. And he's been the quarterback for losing. And they haven't even been competitive, the New York Giants. It's not even like their defense is blowing games. Their offense has been so awful, and it's because Daniel Jones has trouble improvising. He doesn't have any arm strength. He can't really push the ball down the field. And if Daniel Jones was ever going to be good, he would need to be healthy, and he would need to be incredibly decisive with the ball. And even then, he'd still have big-time limitations to his game. Like even Jared Goff at the end of last year was really outperforming what Daniel Jones was putting out there on the field. So for a quarterback who's supposed to be in his prime, you have Galladay, you have guys like Shepard. It's been a nightmare. The offensive line's been terrible as well. So, for Dable, I think that Dable, too, has more of a mild personality. So he's going to have to bring the Giants out of the dumps that they're in. And I know with Joe Judge that the Giants said they would be patient. However, now the Giants have proven offensive coaches, and they are putting an emphasis on offense. And the only way to win is if you have decent offense. I mean, you can't have horrible offense and win football. And now the Giants are putting an emphasis on offense. But with Daniel Jones, again, I'm not going to believe it with the offensive line. But specifically, when you don't have a trigger man that can throw the ball deep down the field, when you have a deficiency at quarterback, it's going to be really hard to win. So that's going to remain to be seen. What are the Giants going to do at quarterback? Is Daniel Jones going to take this leap and make me eat my words and I'll be completely stunned and shocked? Is it going to be like Jared Goff going from Jeff Fisher to Sean McVay? I doubt it's going to happen, but we're going to see what's going to happen. I know that Davis Webb is there, but again, these two hires are really good. I really like the staff. I said I like Joe Judge's staff, so it's not like I'm perfect with this stuff. Again, Joe Judge promised the world to Giants fans. It looked like after the Giants beat Seattle, after they beat Cincinnati, the last year, it looked like the Giants were kind of turning a corner a little bit, and then they ran into a really tough part in their schedule where they lost to the Browns and the Arizona Cardinals and looked terrible down the stretch. And then the beginning of this year, we could talk about it. They lose the Washington game, a game against the Redskins. They really had a great chance to win. Then Atlanta was an embarrassing loss, played the Saints well. Then everybody got injured versus the Cowboys and then the Rams. So it was like 1-5, and when you start off that way, it's brutal. So hopefully Daboll at least can go like 2-4, maybe 3-5. Like, that's not asking for a lot. Asking for a 7-10 season next year isn't a hell of a lot. Asking to be remotely close to 500, like 4-6, 4-7, asking you to be within 4 games of 500 throughout the course of the season, like not going 0-4, not going 1-7, 1-6. How about you keep it at 2-5, go to 3-5, go to 4-5, then you go to 4-7. Like, how about you actually show some signs of life, where it isn't just dead, you show a little bit of signs of life. That would be nice for a guy who watches the product. So the Giants are trying to change, but look, the Eagles were in the course of change, and they still made the playoffs and got to 9 wins. The Atlanta Falcons are a rebuilding roster. Detroit could have won a whole lot of games, and they have the worst roster in the league. Their teams were entertaining week in and week out to watch. Can the Giants be that? Because the Giants were just getting pounded every single week, and it sucked to watch them. So, all right, guys, I like the hires, and I like where the Giants are going. But again, it's going to be a process. I don't think they have the right quarterback, and that is huge. And then the draft is going to be pivotal to see where they go in the draft.